Today, let's explore an idea that quietly, almost invisibly, reshaped our world. The idea that made us trust numbers. If you look back, at some point in history, we humans, we stopped trusting stories.
And instead, we started trusting numbers. Not because they were kinder or wiser, but because they felt certain.
And that simple shift leads us to a quiet mystery. We live in a world where numbers have incredible power over our lives. And yet, they're unthinking. They don't feel. They can't possibly understand us.
Just think about it for a second. Today, numbers decide who gets hired, who gets that loan or that funding. They tell us who's considered a success and who's considered a failure. These are huge, profound judgments about our lives, and they're all made by systems of calculation.
So it really brings us to the central question, doesn't it? Why do we so often place more faith in these cold, abstract symbols than we do in each other? To really understand how we got here, we have to go back. Back to a time when our whole relationship with numbers was completely different. A time when they were just tools. You see, for most of human history, numbers weren't the authority. Trust was built on things you could feel, on personal experience, on someone's reputation in the community, on shared memories. A leader was trusted because people knew their character. A merchant was trusted because you saw the results of their work with your own eyes. In that world, trust was a deeply human thing. It was based on a belief in someone's character. Numbers existed, sure, but they were there to help, to assist life. They were never there to define its value. So what changed? Well, it wasn't the math that changed. It was scale. As our world got bigger, something fundamental was lost. And that created a vacuum, a deep need for a new kind of stability. As societies grew from small villages into massive cities, people just stopped knowing each other. Stories started to conflict, memories would fail, and that deep person-to-person trust became fragile. And in all that new uncertainty, we started searching for something solid to hold on to. And right there, that's the incredible appeal of numbers. Humans, we're emotional, we're contradictory, we're messy and unpredictable, we argue, we forget. But numbers? Well, numbers are quiet, they're consistent, they feel final. They seem to offer a sense of control without all the complexity of dealing with actual people. They're silent and stable in a chaotic world. But this brings us to the very heart of the matter, this illusion of objectivity. We tend to see numbers as pure and neutral, but that overlooks a really fundamental truth about how we use them. The very act of measuring something gives it value. What gets measured becomes important. It's what we focus on, and by extension, everything that isn't measured or can't be measured slowly starts to fade away as if it doesn't even matter. So when productivity becomes just a number, the nuance of human effort is reduced to simple output. When happiness becomes a score, life can feel like a constant comparison. And when success is defined only by metrics, well, deeper meaning can start to feel optional. You see, numbers don't just measure reality, they have the power to redefine. And this isn't some abstract idea. It's everywhere. Just look around you. Our lives are calculated and quantified in countless tiny ways. We take a complex, beautiful quality like intelligence, and we distill it all the way down to a grade, a single percentage that's meant to stand in for the whole person. We look at influence, this incredibly nuanced social dynamic, and we represent it with one thing: a follower count. And we take something as personal as our own worth, the quality of our work, our art, our character, and we allow it to be defined by a rating out of 5? Now, the real danger here isn't the existence of the numbers themselves. The danger emerges when we stop seeing them for what they are, when we stop questioning the metric. The truly dangerous moment is when these numbers just feel normal, when we accept them automatically without a second thought, because that's the moment when numbers stop serving us and we, quietly, begin serving them. So let's be really clear. This isn't an argument to just get rid of numbers. They're incredibly powerful and useful tools. The whole point is to see them as just that: tools, not rulers. The problem really begins when numbers become moral authorities. When we let them decide what has value, it's when they're allowed to completely override context and, maybe most importantly, when they're used to silence our own human judgment. Because once you start to see numbers as ideas, not as absolute, unshakable truths, you realize how quietly they can rule our world. And sometimes, the most dangerous kind of power is the one that looks completely objective. And that really leaves us with one final reflective question. It's not about whether the numbers are accurate or not, it's about us. Why is it that so often we feel safer trusting numbers than trusting ourselves?